We're back from winter break and bring you another edition of Olympus Girls Basketball on OlyTV. Region play is now underway and the Lady Titans look to bounce back after a big loss to West tonight against the Highland Rams in their first region home game of the season. Highland is still looking for their first win of the year as they have started 0-11 and will look to avoid going 0-12 in an upset effort. I'm Lucas Pierce, joined by
Miles Pierce.
And let's get into the storylines for tonight's game. Before the break, Olympus was on a roll, winning 5 in a row after losing their first 4 games. This all came to a screeching halt when the Titans opened the new year with a 68-39 loss at West. What went wrong for the Titans? Well, they actually held their own in the first half, going in tied at 24, but they just came out of the locker room flat. In the third quarter was where everything completely flipped, and West outscored them 25-4, and the game was lost. So what can the Titans do to prevent that from happening tonight? It would be great for Olympus to find some more scoring from beyond the arc. Against the Panthers, they were 2 for 14 and haven't eclipsed more than 5 threes in one game since their loss at Cottonwood. Whether it comes from Tessa Cromar or Maddie Shimoda, who are the best bets for the Titans to have success from three-point land, one of them needs to step up and have a big game from downtown. And this is the perfect game for that to happen because Highland allows a whole bunch of points and doesn't score a whole bunch of points. It is crazy the amount of trouble Highland has had on offense this season. They are averaging about 23 points per game and have only scored over 30 in 2 games. Because of this, it puts so much pressure on their defense to be elite when it simply is not. They found some defensive success in the middle of non-region play, but are back to allowing over 50 points per game, which the offense just isn't able to match. Their best player on the offensive side, though, is Kennedy Gurgle. She is averaging 8.2 points per game and has 30 rebounds on the year. In the Rams' last game before this one versus South Summit, she led the way with 15 points and 3 steals. Can she replicate that performance tonight? We shall see. But even if she does, there needs to be more players for Highland who can have a good offensive performance as well. Now let's head over to Miles for keys to the game.
Thank you, Lucas. Starting with Olympus on the offensive side, they have to get more players involved in the scoring. Joss Baker has continuously proven how good she is at handling the ball and scoring, but when teams start finding a way to slow her down, others need to step up. Someone to watch for is Claire Hazen, who's averaging about 8 points a game, and has shown recently that she is a threat from the three-point line. Defensively, the Titans should eliminate the biggest weapon on offense for Highland. Kennedy Gurgle averages almost 8 points per game, which leads the Rams. The Rams don't have much of a threat on offense outside of her, with the next scorer being Nia Olivao, averaging 4 points. So if Oli gets rid of that threat, they have a great chance of winning. Now for Highland, offensively, they have to find some way to generate offense. They haven't scored more than 35 points all season long, and it's pretty simple. If you don't score, it's hard to win. So if Highland wants to find a way to win this game, it all starts with the offense. On the defensive side, the Rams have a difficult challenge, and that is shutting down Joss Baker. Baker's been the star of the Titans all season long and has shown game after game that the offense runs through her. So Highland needs to find some sort of consistency in limiting the offensive production.
This is very much a get-right game for the Titans. You can't expect Highland to win this or even be competitive in the second half, but we'll have to see if somebody can step up for Highland. Just to get a little view on how rough it's been for Highland, they average 27 turnovers a game, only have average 1.8 assists per game, and only have 19.9 rebounds per game, compared to Olympus, who has 34, who is averaging 31 rebounds a game, 10 assists a game, and only 17 turnovers per game. So it should be interesting to what happens tonight. Now we're going to step away for the national anthem, and then we'll be back with starting lineups and more.
We extend a warm welcome to all Ram fans visiting from Highland High School as tonight they take on your mighty Titans of Olympus High. Tonight's game sponsor is Intermountain Sports Medicine. Olympus is proud to highlight our fantastic partnership with Intermountain Healthcare, a true titan of our community. Joining us tonight is Tasha's miracle trainer, Mike Everett, who is dedicated to keeping our student athletes at their best. Thank you, Mike and Intermountain, for your unwavering support. And now at this time, we ask that you stand if able and join us in honoring America and those who protect it with the presentation of our national anthem.
So proudly we stand at the
Thank you, fan. Led by one of Utah's best educators, Mr. Kirk Miller, tonight's game is streamed live by our talented students at OlyTV. Please visit YouTube and subscribe to OlyTV for live streaming of all home basketball games.
All right, now we are going to have your starting lineups. For Highland, it will be number 5, Kalia Rip. Excuse me, it will be number 3, Mimi. There we go. It's now going to be number 5, Kalia Ripley. Number 11, Katnia Oliveo. Number 13, Meredith Kimball. Number 15, Kennedy Gurgle. And number 22, Vada Foster. She's a freshman who has 27 points on the year. Highland is led by head coach Sala Asiata. And once again, they are looking for their first win of the year and their first win in 11 months. The last time their women's basketball team won a game was February 9th last year against Skyline. And that was their only win last year, where they went 1-17. And now we're going to do the Olympus starting lineup. They're 5-4, and they're led by head coach Whitney Hunsaker. Number 5, Joss Baker, the senior guard who's averaging 19 points a game. Number 11, Tallulah Colton, the senior forward. She had 3 points last game. Number 15, Claire Hazen, the senior forward. She's averaging 8 points per game. Number 23, Tessa Cromar, the senior guard. She's averaging 7 points per game and had 8 points last game. And then number 24, Maddie Shimoda, the junior guard. She's averaging 3 points per game. She didn't have any points last game, but she totaled 4 assists. And Olympus, they need to get out to a fast start. They can't let Highland hang around.
Yeah, especially because Highland hasn't won a game yet, and if you give them any little bit of confidence, they're just going to try as hard as they can to get this first win. So if Olympus is able to come out hot and kill any momentum and confidence that Highland has, Olympus should run away with this one.
It's going to be Joss Baker and Kennedy Gurgle in the jump circle, it looks like, as we're ready to get underway tonight. Olympus looks to improve to 1-1 in region play. And Highland, this is their first region game as well. The tip is up. Baker tips it to Cromar, and here we go. Cromar passes it to Shimoda. Shimoda passes it to Baker. Baker, the Titans' best player. They get it back to Shimoda, who's guarded by Foster. They try to go into Colton, but she's triple teamed. She smartly passes it back out, and now it's Cromar who takes the ball. Highland playing some good defense so far. Olympus not having many shot opportunities. They're trying to go into Hazen, and now Baker's gonna have to put up a 3. It is no good, and it'll be out of bounds. Rough first possession for the Titans.
Yeah, excellent defensive possession for Highland. Olympus was trying to drive to the basket, but Highland did an excellent job of containing that offense and making them pass the ball out in the perimeter.
And so it's Foster who brings it up the floor. Freshman starting is always impressive. And the ball is turned over by Baker. She's running it up the floor. She moves around Gurgle, lays it up and in.
It's what Joss Baker's so good at doing, getting the ball down the court and then just making those easy layups.
And Foster brings it up the floor once again. Highland averaging 27 turnovers a game. That's really where everything stems from. This, like all their struggles and stuff. It's Kimball, who is going to turn it over to Cromar, and she's going to go to the hoop. She isn't able to lay it up, but the refs call a foul, so Tessa Cromar will be at the free throw line.
Yeah, Highland has not looked good early on the offensive side, already 2 turnovers on their 2 possessions.
Olympus is doing a good job of jumping passing lanes and intercepting the ball before Highland even has a chance to set themselves up on offense. The first one is no good by Cromar, rolls in and out. And so she will try to go 1 for 2 for the line at the line now. The second one is no good, it's short. And it's Oliveo who comes down with the rebound.
Yeah, it's 2 missed points, or 2 missed free throws, and that's just leaving points on the court.
Foster is guarded by Cromar. She passes it to Ripley. Ripley finds a cutting Kimball. They pass it out to Gurgle. Gurgle doesn't have anywhere to go, so they pass it to Ripley once again, who's guarded by Shimoda. Olympus is hounding the ball, and that's nearly a backcourt violation, but it's Gurgle who's bringing it up the floor. There's 5 seconds left on the shot clock, and that's going to be out of bounds off of the Titans with 3 seconds left for Highland to get a shot up.
Even though the ball was hit out of bounds, going back to the beginning of that possession, how good Gurgle was at keeping the ball in from going to a half-court violation.
And that'll be a shot clock violation for the Rams. Struggled to get a shot up there. Olympus playing some great defense early on in this one.
Yeah, pretty good sign by Olympus. They're already shutting down the offense and not letting Highland have a chance in this game.
Shimoda finds an open Colton, and now she's covered. 3 Highland players force a turnover, and Foster brings it up the floor. She slows it down now.
Especially on the defensive side, you see early that Highland is being aggressive, trying to get those steals, and it worked out once again.
And they have had good defensive games. It's just been the offense, which has been consistently bad. That layup is good by Meredith Kimball, the junior for Highland. And she ties it up early in this one. They pass it to Baker, who's open from 3. That one is good, a swish for Baker. And that's the Titans' first 3 on the night.
Now, Highland had to come into this game and shut down Joss Baker, and already they've proven that they haven't so far. Right there with the 3 and then the early layup from her.
And that'll be a turnover as Kimball isn't able to hold on to that pass. And the Titans will get the ball back. An early defensive battle between these two teams. If Olympus continues to play the kind of defense they are playing, they won't have any trouble tonight. Cromar is open from 3. It's no good. And it's Oliveo who comes down with the rebound.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, Olympus needs to start shooting the ball from deep a lot better. As you said, 2 for 14 earlier in the season, and they just and they're already taking the shots early in this game.
That's another turnover on Highland, and Baker's going to inbound it to Shimoda. In a minute. It looks like we have a timeout first. Timeout by Highland, their first of the night. And they're going to try and draw something on offense. They just keep turning the ball over.
Yeah, as you said, that's been their problem all season long. The defense has been all right this year, and you've already seen early shutting down the offense to 5 points, but they need to find some consistency on offense. You cannot beat this Olympus team unless you score, and they got to find a way to do so.
This Highland team, they just struggled on offense. They struggled on offense last season, so it's not necessarily a big surprise, but when Olympus went to play at Highland, Highland actually put up a pretty good fight, and Olympus only won by about 10 or 11. So this team has the chance, and they have the opportunity to make it a close game.
Yeah, if they play it close, they might have a chance to pull this one off.
Shimoda, they're passing around the perimeter, and that's going to be a turnover as Gurgle intercepted the pass. She gets it up the floor, and they pass it to Foster. Gurgle has it now. She's guarded by Baker. And that'll be a turnover as they were trying to get it in to the paint, but weren't able to do so. Hazen's going to lay it up and in. Great passing by the Titans in transition.
Yeah, pretty much a disaster of 2 possessions for Highland. They were trying to get Tavada Foster underneath the basket, but just a miscommunication doomed them, and then Olympus answers right back with the layup.
And that's another steal, another intercepted pass. Hazen's going to lay it up and in for the second straight time. Highland just forecasts their pass too much. It's very predictable, and Olympus can intercept it like that, easy. Foster gets it to Gurgle, and then it's Langi who puts up a shot, and they're going to call a foul. Finau Langi, the senior for Highland. She had 2 points last game against South Summit and has 23 points on the year. This will be Highland's first 2 free throw attempts of the night. The first one is no good.
If you're Highland, you have to be making your free throws right now. You can't get much going on offense, and these are free points that you're leaving on the court. And if you can't capitalize on them, it's not very good for your team.
We'll see what she can do here on the second one. That is no good. Both teams 0 for 2 from the line early in this one. And now it's Hazen who has it. She passes it out to Cromar. They find a cutting Baker, they pass it back out to Shimoda, who's open from 3. That one is good. Beautiful high arcing 3 from Shimoda.
Yeah, Olympus has got to get something going from 3-point land, and they did it just there.
And that is another turnover as Hazen takes the ball away. She's going to lay it up and in. So Olympus is extending their lead quickly here. It's now 14-2. The early defense that Highland has is now not there.
Yeah, and it's really off of those turnovers. Olympus has gotten a lot of breakaways, and Highland just has no answer. Their passes are way too predictable, and Olympus just always sees them coming.
Ball right there was knocked out by Claire Hazen, and it's Caitlin Mitchell who's inbounding the ball. They get it into Gurgle, and that's nearly stolen away by Baker. And now it is stolen away by Cromar, who finds Baker running up the floor. It's a one-on-one, and her shot is up, and it is good.
Olympus is just so quick at getting the ball down the court that they don't even set up their offense, and Highland just has no answer.
It's Gurgle who passes to Foster. She's guarded by Shimoda. She's open from 3. That 3 is good. A much-needed bucket by Highland to get up to 5 points.
It's finally time that Highland got something going on offense.
Hazen's 3 is up. It is no good, and Gurgle comes down with the rebound.
Going back to last possession, you get the 3-pointer, and now if you're able to score on this possession, you're able to gain some confidence for your team.
Rams down by 11 right now as the Titans had a big run in that once the score went to 5-2. Gurgle tries to go up for the layup. It's blocked away by Cromar, and Baker brings it up the floor. Baker guarded by Mitchell. They pass it around the perimeter. Hazen's going to try a 3 again. It's no good. And Shimoda tried to get the rebound right there, but it's Gurgle who ultimately comes down with it, and a foul is called.
Yeah, when Highland allows Olympus to set up their offense, and without any of the breakaways from turnovers, they're actually pretty decent on the defensive side. And because of the turnovers and the amount of breakaways that Olympus is getting, that's why they're down by so much.
Foster looking for room to run. She turns it over. It's Cromar who's alone. She's going to lay it up and in, plus the foul. Great layup by Cromar through contact. That foul is on Oliveo.
Highland just cannot catch a break. They just have no answer to this Olympus offense.
It's hard to have an answer when you have those turnovers like that. Those are the most killer when the team can go in transition really quickly and get those to get those 2-on-1 situations or 1-on-0 situations. Cromar will be looking to make her first free throws of the night. She went 0 for 2 in her first try, and that one is good. So Olympus now extends their lead to 19-5. Mitchell, we'll see what she can do here. She passes it to Kimball. We're now under a minute left in this first quarter. Highland needs some points. It's Gurgle who's thought about the 3. Nice pump fake. And now they're going underneath, and that'll be no good. That layup by Langi. Now it's Baker who's going to somehow shoot that ball high off the glass and in.
Yeah, there's not much Highland can do about that. It was just an incredible shot overall. And when you double team Joss Baker, she's still able to make those baskets.
Again, she's averaging a double-double a game. The Southern Utah commitment is. Gergel passes it to Kimball. And that'll be an offensive foul. That's going to be a moving screen on Margaret Hartle, her first action tonight. And Olympus will now have a chance for the final shot of the quarter. Shimoda brings it up the floor with 10 seconds. Now the Titans get the ball moving on offense. Hazen finds Eliza Johnson. They pass it back to Shimoda. She's going to have to put the shot up. She's not going to be able to. But the Titans will take the first quarter they had anyway, as they are up 21-5.
Yeah, if you're Olympus, this is exactly what you asked for. You're scoring points in all different types of way. You're driving to the basket. You're scoring off of turnovers. And you started to get some production from the three. And if you're Highland, I think their number one priority going into the second quarter is just trying to correct these turnovers. They're making it way too predictable, and Olympus just continuously is able to get those breakaways. So if they're able to correct that and generate a little bit of production on offense, you can take away some positives from this game.
Even if they're able to just get some shots up, it would be so much more beneficial, because earlier in the game we saw them when Olympus set up their offense. They weren't that bad defensively. We were forcing turnovers and stuff. So it's it's Highland who needs to get some shots up.
Yeah, their biggest problem is Olympus scoring on those turnovers. If they were able to slow down their offense after the turnovers, they might have a better chance at containing the offense.
So those are some things to look for both teams as we move into the second quarter. Olympus playing a great game so far. They're doing exactly the opposite of what happened to them in the third quarter against West last week, where they outscored 24-5. It'll be Kaylin Mitchell inbounding the ball to Kennedy Gergel. It's Mitchell now who has it. She's guarded by Eliza Johnson. She's going to put up the three. That one is an air ball, and it will be Olympus ball. Eliza Johnson, the senior guard, making her first appearance in the game tonight. Last game against West, she had 1 point and 2 rebounds. Highland now in a zone defense, trying to slow down the Titans. Baker passes it to Cromar. She's open from three. That one is good. The Titans with some great passing right there to find an open Cromar.
Yeah, it's probably one of the few times all game that Highland has failed to lock down this offense when they actually set up.
And that's going to be tipped and stolen away by Baker. She's going to shoot the three. That is an air ball. Just not probably the right decision right there. She hesitated, threw off her shot.
Yeah, she hesitated a little, and then I'm pretty sure that she saw a few players coming around her, and that might have thrown her off.
Baker now hounding Kennedy Gergel. She finds an out to Hartle. Now they're going inside to Longi. She's going to lay it up. It is no good, and it's Grace who brings it up. Grace Schwartz who brings it up the floor now, and she turns it right back over. And then a foul on Claire Hazen right at the halfway point of the court.
Yeah, pretty good defensively by Highland. They were able to force the turnover and draw the foul.
Gergel controlling the offense for the Rams right now. Nearly stolen away by Hazen. Gergel thought about the shot, and it gets turned over anyway. It's Eliza Johnson who's streaking up the floor. She lays it up. It is no good, but she is fouled, so she will be headed to the free throw line.
Yeah, Highland just has not gotten the shots that they're looking for. They just keep turning the ball over before. Only once earlier in the second quarter were they able to get a shot off, and that was an air ball.
Johnson averaging 3.9 points per game. First one is up. It is good. As Tallulah Colton checks into the game for Claire Hazen, and as Katina Oliveo comes in for Finau Langi. or Longy. Johnson's second one is up. It is good. And now the Titans have a 21-point lead. And that'll be a turnover, just a miscommunication by Highland right there. And it's nearly turned over once again until it is turned over once again. And Hartle comes down with it, and now it's Gurgle who double dribbles, which of course results in another turnover. And it'll be Titans basketball.
Early on in this game, it's just been turnover after turnover after turnover, and the difference is Olympus can capitalize on those, but when Highland gets them, they just turn the ball over once again.
It'll be Baker inbounding right in between the A and the N right there. Baker comes down with it after Johnson's shot was blocked. She puts it in the hoop. Gurgle passes it to Kaylin Mitchell. She's guarded by Eliza Johnson. They get it inside, and that shot is good by Katina Oliveo.
Yeah, one of the first shots in a while for this Highland offense, and that's one of the first shots that they've gotten off all quarter long.
Baker's looking to drive. Her jump shot is up, and it is good. So the Titans now up to 30 points, not even halfway through the second quarter. Mitchell guarded by Johnson. They try to go inside to Oliveo again. For the second time in a row, it works, and Highland has scored on 2 straight possessions.
Yeah, the first time all game for sure, and it's not like they're not shooting the ball well. It's just they don't get the open looks that most teams need in order to gain confidence to shoot it well.
Baker finds Cromar. She thought about the 3. Now she's going to drive. Her shot is up. It is no good, but Cromar will head to the free throw line once again. She's had 2 trips. She's currently 1 for 3. First one is up. It is good. And it looks like Shimoda will be checking in right after this shot. Second one is up. That one is good. She's now 3 for 5 from the line, and Cromar checks out. And this is great for the Titans to see Cromar getting some points, getting some shots, and making them, as she has struggled a little bit to open up this season.
Yeah, especially recently. And it's good to see her actually getting open looks from 3 and shooting the ball well from the free throw line.
That'll be stolen away after it was tipped by Tallulah Colton, and the Titans race up the floor. Now she doesn't have anywhere to go with the ball, so she tried to put up the shot. I think it was blocked by Highland, which means it's Titans ball once again as Coach Hunsaker for the Titans calls a timeout.
So some positives that Highland can take from this. They scored on back-to-back possessions. The turnovers are still a huge issue, and they need to correct those. Now for Olympus, the offense is excellent so far, 32 points, with still 4.5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
The Titans have done a great job of not letting Highland stay in the game. They have gotten out to a big lead and destroyed the confidence they had early. So the Titans did what they need to do early. Now they just need to hang on. They're playing some great defense. Highland's also finding a little bit of momentum on offense too, though, specifically through Katina Oliveo.
Yeah, she's not the superstar of this offense, but when she needs to, she will perform. And you see it right now, but the turnovers are what they need to be corrected. And these offensive playmakers can make the plays. They just need the open looks and to actually have the confidence to make those shots.
And this has been a common theme for the Rams. They just get down early because they don't have the ability to score very much, and it ultimately costs them any chance that they have to win. On the floor for the Titans, it's Maddie Shimoda, Grace Schwartz, Joss Baker, Tallulah Colton, and Eliza Johnson. Johnson inbounding. She passes to Colton, and now it's Shimoda who's guarded by Mitchell. Baker's open from in the middle of the court, and it is no good. Gergel brings it up the floor now. Mitchell, they're going to go into Oliveo once again. That time the layup spins out, and Colton brings it up the floor now, gives it to Shimoda.
Olympus has been excellent on the defensive side. Sure, Highland's offense isn't capable of scoring that many points.
Eliza Johnson's shot is no good, and that'll be a jump ball with the possession arrow going towards the Titans, so they will get another chance at a shot. We're just a little under halfway through this second quarter, and a traveling violation is called on Colton. And it'll be Kaylin Mitchell inbounding to Kennedy Gergel. Score 32-9 with 3:45 left. They're going to try and go into Oliveo once again. They pass it to Gergel, and that pass goes off the feet of Oliveo, and now the Titans have numbers, but the pass is errant, and the ball will be headed right back to Highland.
Yeah, before you look at the score, you can see that both teams are turning the ball over a lot, and Highland more than Olympus, and it's just the miscues by both offenses is what's throwing them off.
They're going to try and go inside with Oliveo once again. It's no good, and Shimoda comes down with the rebound. Highland found something there, and they are clearly going to stick with it for the rest of the game. Now the Titans passing around the perimeter. Shimoda now passes it to Baker, who is guarded by Gergel. Shimoda's open from three. That one is no good. It's an air ball, but Johnson nearly saves it. She does save it as it goes off of Highland. Oliveo right there, and they will keep possessions. The Titan will, as Baker checks out for the first time tonight.
Yeah, it's 32-9 now, but going back to the 4.5-minute mark, Olympus hasn't scored since then, so Highland has done a great job of shutting them down.
Great find right there. Tallulah Colton's able to put the layup up and in. Titans have done a great job of, when they have the chance to make those layups, of making them. Highland, they're going to try and go into Oliveo once again, but the pass to Gergel is thrown out of bounds, and we have another turnover. So it'll be Cromar inbounding to Shimoda.
Highland just cannot stop turning the ball over. It's turnover after turnover, and it really kills their confidence because they're never getting the shots that they want.
They're going to try and go inside to Colton once again, but they aren't able to. Cromar thought about the three. Now she passes it to Johnson. Johnson's guarded by Gergel, and Johnson's going to put the floater up. No good. And it was Hartle who comes down with the rebound. We're now at 1:55 left in the second quarter. The Titans have a 34-9 lead. That layup is good by Kennedy Gergel. I'm pretty sure her first points tonight.
And one of the first times Highland has been able to score underneath the basket. They've been trying to do it a lot recently, and it finally worked out.
That mid-range shot by Shimoda is no good. And now Highland looking to build some momentum going into halftime. Gergel is guarded by Cromar. And that'll be a blocking foul as she attempted to drive towards the basket.
Number 24, Manny Shimoda, her first personal foul. Second team foul for the Titans.
It'll be Kaylin Mitchell inbounding the ball to one of her Highland teammates. It is Gergel, and that'll be a foul on Tessa Cromar. Just a little too much contact as she tried to knock the ball out of Gergel's hands.
Yeah, excellent inbound pass. You were able to get out over most of the defenders and she came down with it, just got fouled.
And now it's Claire Hazen checking into the game for Tessa Cromar. And we're going to have a timeout for Highland here with 1:20 left. What do you think they're going to try and draw up to get some offense?
Well, I'd like to see them go underneath the basket again. It worked out last possession, and it seems like they've been trying to force a shot in there. And I think it'll work again because last possession it obviously worked, and maybe it'll work again.
It's just been domination by the Titans, really. Highland, they turn the ball over so much, especially above the three-point line, that they rarely have any good shots to get up.
Yeah, and a lot of it, as you said, because it's behind the three-point line, they're not even being allowed to drive to the basket because they just keep turning the ball over.
And so Coach Hunsaker right here probably preaching through the Titans to play some good defense and just to get into halftime without giving Highland some momentum. Josh Baker checks back into the game for the Titans. We'll see what happens in these final 1 minute and 20 seconds of the second half. It's Gergel inbounding. She gets it into Mitchell. Tight defense by Shimoda right now. We'll see if Mitchell can get around it. She isn't able to, and it's stolen away by Baker. Great defense by Shimoda right there to force that turnover.
Just these turnovers behind the three-point line is what's dooming Highland. They aren't even driving to the basket to get mid-ranges either.
Schwartz thought about the three. Now she tried to get it into Hazen, and it is an offensive foul called. 3-second violation call, excuse me. Gergel will be guarded by Baker as they've been going at it all game, and that's a moving screen on Katina Oliveo. So yet another turnover as Johnson will inbound it to Shimoda.
Yeah, and it's not like Olympus isn't turning the ball over either. It's both teams just going at it, and Olympus is the one who capitalizes on it.
Shimoda finds Johnson, who's open from three after the pump fake. It is no good. And Hartle comes down with the rebound. Now Highland's going to slowly bring it up the floor. We'll see if they hold for the final shot as the shot clock is now turned off. Gergel finds Oliveo. She lays it up and in. So Highland has now cut the lead. The Titans had 2:21 after being down 34-9. We'll see what the Titans do here right before half. Baker with a nice spin move. The shot goes in and out, but she gets her own rebound and puts it back in the hoop. And that's going to take us into halftime. So complete domination by the Titans. Whole bunch of turnovers both ways, but Highland kept turning it over the more, and now the Titans have a 23-point lead.
Yeah, it's been pretty much a disaster for Highland. They aren't getting anything going on offense when they do keep the ball in their hands. And they have done an all right job at keeping the Olympus offense contained. It's just the breakaways that have doomed them. If they want to have some miracle to get back in this game, they got to generate something on offense and limit those turnovers.
And so that'll take us into halftime. Your score 36-13. We'll be back for the second half.
Fans, welcome to the court for your halftime entertainment. Your Olympus cheer team. for your Olympus cheer team. start of the third quarter, Highland basketball.
Welcome back to Olympus basketball on OlyTV. The Lady Titans have a 23-point lead, 36-13 entering this second half, and we'll see if they can keep that up. It's Highland who starts with the ball. Ripley's open from three. It's no good, but they come down with the rebound, and Kimball gets fouled.
Pretty good possession overall for now. As you saw in the first half, they just kept turning the ball over and over, and pretty good change of pace for them right here.
Inbounding the ball is Vada Foster. She gets it into Kimball. Now Kimball passes to Oliveo, but it's turned over as she tried to get it into Gurgle. It was Baker with the steal, and now she brings it up the floor for the Titans. She's open from three, and that one is no good. Wasn't able to get the bounce off off of the backboard. Foster is guarded by Cromar. She thought about the three, instead tries to go into Oliveo. And that'll be a foul on Tallulah Colton, a blocking foul, not on the shot, so it'll be it'll be an inbounds pass for Highland.
Early on in this half, you saw that Highland doesn't turn the ball over as quickly as they do in possessions, and I think I spoke too soon.
As they turned it over right there, common theme in the first half continuing in the second half. Hazen's open from three, it's no good. Highland comes down with the rebound. That was Meredith Kimball. And now it's Foster who brings it up the floor, as she has numerous times during this game for the Rams.
Olympus continuing their struggles from three. Once again, they made a few in the first half, but just haven't gotten a hot streak going.
And now it's Gurgle who's looking to drive. A lot of contact right there, and it will be a foul on the Titans. I think they'll get it on Shimoda. Never mind, they do get it on Colton.
Yeah, and that's their third foul on their third possession, third offensive possession in this quarter.
First one is up and good by Gurgle. Her first point since around the midway mark of the first half. Second one is up. That one is good. And now Baker calls up everyone, and they finally get it across the timeline. Shimoda finds Colton, who's open. Layup is good. Great find by Shimoda.
Yeah, Olympus had no problem maneuvering around the Highland full court press, and it was light work for them. They were able to go, drive down the court, and get the easy layup.
And now Highland's going inside to Oliveo. It worked in the first half. It works that time too. And now Highland is up to 17 points. They've done, this is better for them offensively on the season. Shimoda's three is no good. A little to the left, and Highland comes down with the rebound.
Already in the second half, you can see some improvements on the defensive side for Highland.
And now that is swatted away by Baker, and some miscommunication with Colton, and they turn the ball over.
We have a jump ball.
Jump ball, so it will be Titans ball with 5:37 left in the third quarter, as Brianna Kidiona checks in for the first time tonight. Sophomore forward has 15 points and 16 rebounds on the year. Shimoda finds Kidiona. I thought she stepped out of bounds there, but it looks like the refs didn't get her stepping out of bounds. The mid-range jumper from Baker is no good, and Highland comes down with the rebound. Titans struggling a little bit on offense to start this third quarter.
Yeah, and it's not just from the three-point line, which they had all season. It's from all aspects of the offense.
Cutting is Gurgle. That is blocked away by Baker, and then she passes it up to Cromar, who lays it up and in. The transition game is what has made Olympus money in this game.
Yeah, as you saw right there, it's getting the points off of turnovers, and that's what they've just been so good at tonight.
That shot is no good by Oliveo, and it is out of bounds. Ripley gets it into Gurgle. Highland's best player this season. She averages 8 points a game. She's going to shoot the three, but they're going to call a traveling violation first.
Just these miscues on offense for Highland. They've been a lot better in this third quarter compared to that first half. It was ugly in the first half. And as I mentioned, they just need to limit those turnovers, and they might be able to perform a bit better.
Shimoda is guarded by Foster, the point guard for the Rams. They somehow get that pass into Baker. A small window that Shimoda threw it into, but they're able to get the bucket.
Not much Highland can do do more on that possession. You had two people trying to block the shot, and it was just perfectly placed by Shimoda.
Oliveo guarded by Kidiona. She's going to try and drive. Her layup is good. She got around Kidiona well. And now it's 42-19, midway through this third quarter. Baker guarded closely by Foster. She passes it out to Shimoda. Now they find Claire Hazen. They give it back to Shimoda, they give it back to Baker, who is navigating the offense. Baker thought about the three, decided not to take it as she was guarded closely. Now Baker gets it to Shimoda. She's going to shoot the three, and that one is no good as the shot clock buzzes.
Pretty good defensive possession for Highland. You were able to put some pressure on Olympus in scoring early with the shot clock draining.
Foster's guarded by Cromar. They're going to try and go into Oliveo once again. Her fadeaway jumper is no good, and Baker comes down with the rebound. Shimoda passes it back to Baker. They find Cromar open from three. That is no good. And Ripley this time gets the rebound.
Olympus continues their three-point struggles as they have most of the season. They just got to find something going because it's important come playoff time.
Foster passes it to Oliveo. They try to get it into Gurgle. The pass was a little long. That long two-point jumper is no good. It was an air ball, and Shimoda comes down with it. Cromar was open there for a second. Now she drives. She passes it to Kidiona. That shot is blocked, but she gets her own rebound. She tried to get it to Hazen, but turned the ball over to Oliveo. And after a long period of time without a whistle, we finally get one as Highland calls their third timeout of the game.
Yeah, so far in this third quarter, Highland has done a pretty good job at scoring compared to the first half. They only scored 11 in the first half. They've already scored 8 this quarter. And as for Olympus, their offense from deep just cannot get going. One of their problems going into this game, and it looked like this game would be a way to fix that, and they just haven't.
But despite not fixing that, they are still up by a large margin, and they're most likely going to win this game as long as there's no catastrophe.
Yeah, and I would not expect this kind of meltdown from the Titans. Highland's offense just isn't that good at scoring points very quickly. And if Olympus were to allow that to happen, it'd just be a complete meltdown.
We do have the Olympus boys basketball team also playing tonight. They're playing at Highland, and what a matchup that is between two as between two one-loss teams. Olympus goes into that game 11-1, and Highland goes in 10-2. It just shows how hard Region 5A Region 6 is for those boys basketball teams.
Yeah, going into the season for the boys, you just didn't know what to expect, and they've exceeded all expectations with an 11-1 record.
They're trying to go inside. This time it's Longi. She is able to put up a shot. She gets her own rebound, and then a traveling violation on Meredith Kimball right there.
Another failed offensive possession for Highland. They've done a little bit better in this third quarter, but still not at the point where they need in order to win a game.
Schwartz passes it into Kidiona. Kidiona triple teamed right there. They find Johnson. That three is no good. Schwartz tries to go and get the rebound. Great effort. It forces a jump ball.
So far this third quarter, Highland has not done a terrible job at defending the Olympus offense. It's just their offense can't respond in a big way.
And it's hard for them to do that because they were down by so much early. When you get down by 20-plus points, it's hard for a team to try and come back from that, even if they have had some more offensive momentum in the second half. That'll be another traveling violation on Highland, which means another turnover, and Olympus gets the ball back.
Going back to what you said about getting down by such a significant amount early on, it just kills all confidence. When you come into a game, you got to expect that you're going to score some points, but when you lose all that momentum early, it's kind of difficult too.
Baker's shot is no good, but she gets fouled, so she will be headed to the free throw line for the first time tonight. It looks like she might have a little limp right there.
Her first personal foul. Josh Baker shoots 2.
Her first free throw is good. Rolls around the rim and in. So the Titans now up to 43 points, and Baker makes her first free throw of the night. Second one is up. That one is no good, and it's Gergel who gets the rebound. Now she passes it to Foster.
Let's see if Highland can get some momentum going into this fourth quarter on offense.
Kaylin Mitchell is now in the game, and she turns the ball over. She tried to get it to Foster. They have a 2-on-1. Great pass by Cromar, but Baker hits it too hard off the glass and then commits the foul as she tried to get the jump ball.
During this third quarter, both offenses haven't been pretty, but taking a deeper dive at the Olympus offense, they aren't making three-pointers and they aren't making mid-ranges. The only shots that they seem to be able to make for sure are the layups.
And Baker just missed that one too, so. The three by Kimball bounces in, and so Highland now up to 22 points, right around their season average, and we still have a quarter to play. Titans going fast now. Kidiona finds Baker. She's going to shoot the three. That one is good as the quarter comes to an end. So the Titans go into the final quarter of tonight's game up 46-22.
Starting with Highland, that last three by Josh Baker was pretty killer. Sure, you're already down by so much, and there's not really much hope of coming back to win this game, but you just hit a three, and your offense is starting to gain momentum. They've already doubled the amount of first-half points in this third quarter alone, and that's just pretty killer. For Olympus, their offense really has not taken off this quarter, but when you build such a big lead in the first half, it's not really much of a worry in the second.
And so Olympus looks to be on their way to a 1-1 region play record where they get their first win tonight, and then they have a big 3-game road trip where they will play Brighton, Alta, and East.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how well Olympus plays in those games. Definitely a step up in play compared to Highland, but with the way that they're playing tonight, especially on forcing turnovers and free throws and stuff, you're able to gain some momentum going into those 3 big games.
Start of the fourth quarter, Titans basketball.
The Titans will start with the basketball in this fourth quarter. Baker inbounds it to Cromar. They pass it right back to Baker. She's going to shoot the 3. That one is good. Her second straight possession with a 3-pointer. And the Titans now extend their lead to 27.
Seems like Baker's finally getting something going from behind the arc, and that's what you haven't really seen out of this Titans team. So it's pretty good to see at least one player on Olympus start to get something going.
Funky shot right there by Kennedy Gurgle. It does not go in the hoop, and the Titans have the ball now. Baker is able to drive. She tries for the fancy layup, isn't able to put it through. And now Cromar shoots the 3. That one is no good, and Baker has it now. Never mind, it is a foul call on Baker.
Titan foul rebound. Call it Josh Baker. Her second personal foul.
And now it's Claire Hazen checking into the game for Tessa Cromar.
Now we're going to see what Highland is able to do despite that killer 3 by Josh Baker to end the third quarter.
Foster attempts to drive, doesn't get the bounce on the rim. And Kidiona passes it to Baker, who leads the offense for the Titans now. They pass it around the perimeter. Johnson is back in the game. Hazen's shot nearly goes in but doesn't, and then that will be a foul call on Hazen.
Pretty much during this entire second half, you've seen multiple fouls by both sides, and it's become a really sloppy game.
Olympus with 2 fouls, the Rams with none right now. The 3 by Mitchell, deep 3 by Mitchell is good. And Highland is now above their season average in points per game with 25 points. Hazen finds a cutting Kidiona, and she is fouled as she went up for the layup.
Very different story for the Highland offense in the first half versus the second half. They've been much more consistent at getting to the basket and shooting the ball from 3. And it's a pretty big game changer when you're able to score.
Her first free throw is no good. Bounces off the rim. We'll see if she can hit her second one. She is not able to bank in the second one, and it's Mitchell who comes down with the rebound. And so now we're at 6:20 left, and Olympus has a 24-point lead, 49-25. Mitchell's guarded by Schwartz, and now Hazen. She nearly loses control in the corner and passes it to Eliza Johnson of Olympus. It's a 3-on-1 for the Titans. Johnson tries to do it herself. It is blocked out of bounds, and the Titans will get the ball once again.
One of the few times this game where Highland has been able to shut down that transition offense from the Titans with the block there.
They just had a height advantage on Johnson. Didn't really have a chance to put that layup in. Schwartz is going to shoot the 3. It is no good. And it's Lonju who comes down with the rebound. Now she gives it right back to the Titans, and Baker has the ball now. She's going to drive, lay it up, and that one is no good. But they turn the ball over again, and Hazen lays it in plus the foul. You can't turn the ball over that much and not expect to get hurt by it.
Yeah, you had the chance to bring the ball down the court if you're Highland multiple times, and just to expect a different result by giving it back to Olympus doesn't really make any sense.
The only free throw by Hazen is no good. That's one thing that Olympus could improve on. They haven't had their best night at the line. Mitchell's going to shoot the 3. That is an air ball. Rough shot by Mitchell. And Olympus gets the ball once again. Now it's Schwartz who passes it right back to Baker. And they're across the timeline, the Titans are. Johnson thought about the three, didn't take it. Baker thought about the three, didn't take it herself. And now Johnson's gonna shoot the three. It rolls in and out. And Highland brings it up the floor.
Seemed like early on in the third quarter and fourth quarter, the Highland offense was finally starting to get something going, but kind of ruined the momentum with the air ball on last possession.
Gergel passes it into the Longy. Longy going up against Colton. Good defense by Colton, but Mitchell comes down with the rebound. She tries to go around Schwartz and draws the foul on the layup.
Well, this foul was shot. Called number 14, Grace Schwartz. Number 1 on Grace.
The game has really slowed down in this fourth quarter, as we've now had 5 fouls in about 3 minutes of play. Mitchell's first free throw is a little long, goes off the back of the rim and out as Cromar checks in for Grace Schwartz. And Maddie Shimoda checks in for Eliza Johnson. Mitchell's second free throw doesn't bounce in, and it's Baker who comes down with the ball. Baker moves around Mitchell and now passes it to Shimoda. Shimoda passes it back to Baker, now to Cromar. Cromar was guarded by Margaret Hartle. Baker tries to go inside. Foster falls to the ground, but no foul is called. Baker, a lot of passing for the Titans on this possession, as Hazen's three is no good.
Not really sure why Tessa Cromar passed it out to Claire Hazen. She had an open look underneath the basket, and which could have been an easy layup.
And Highland is going to call a timeout nearly at the midway point of this fourth quarter. The Titans have a 51-25 lead, and it's really been an impressive performance all around.
Yeah, definitely, especially on the defensive side. They've forced a lot of turnovers, which Highland's offense does a lot, but they're still able to do it. And then on the offensive side, Joss Baker is as good as ever, and she's able to shoot the ball from threes and get the layups.
And the Titans really needed this game after they struggled against West to open up region play again. They came in with a whole lot of momentum, and as they were winners of 5 in a row, and then it just kind of stopped in the second half against West. But now we're seeing how they're improved, how they were. This was a good get-right game for them.
Yeah, it's really important to have these types of games. You don't want to keep free falling in region play by keep getting beat up by other teams. So it's a pretty good job by Olympus in bouncing back from that tough loss.
Number 12, Taylor, and number 44,
Checking in for the Rams is number 0, Lena Jotted, and number 44, Fatu Brown. It's Kaylin Mitchell running the offense as point guard for Highland. Jadid has it now, and then passes it back to Mitchell. That is an errant pass, and that is not able to be kept as Highland possession. Cromar is going to lay it up and in easily.
Yeah, another turnover and more points for Olympus in response to that.
Mitchell, guarded by Shimoda, is going to put up the floater. It is no good. And it goes off of the Titans. So Highland will get another chance at getting the basket. It's Laviana Fafita who passes it to Cromar. Cromar is in a 2-on-1. She lays it up and in. second possession in a row, and now the Titans are up by 30 points, 55-25.
It seemed like Highland had done an all right job at halftime at correcting those turnovers behind the three-point line, but you just saw it again, and Olympus responded.
Baker steals the ball away as Highland keeps turning the ball over. That layup by Cromar is no good. Baker gets the rebound and lays it right back. We're now at 2:40 left in this one. Olympus with a much needed get-right game. That rebound by Brown, she's going to put up the shot, and a foul is called on the Titans, so Brown will be headed to the free throw line.
Foul, Josh Baker, her third personal foul. On the line for the Rams, shooting 2. Start Brown.
First one is up. It is good. Highland has struggled from the free throw line, but they were able to get that one. And now a mass substitution for the Titans as Grace Schwartz, Brianna Kidiona, Eliza Johnson, and Ava Jorgensen come in for Joss Baker, Tessa Cromar, Claire Hazen, and Maddie Shimoda. A much needed break for them as they've had great games. Second one is no good, and Kidiona gets the rebound. Now it's Johnson running the offense, passes it to Schwartz. Schwartz passes it back to Johnson, and now they get Jorgensen in the corner. Johnson's going to shoot the three. That one is no good. And Kidiona isn't able to get the rebound. She tipped it, but it's Lena Jadid, the junior for Highland, bringing it up the floor.
Going into this game, you really didn't know what offensive punch Olympus was going to bring outside of Joss Baker, but overall they've done an excellent job at distributing the ball to all players around the court.
Jadid puts up a wild shot, high off the glass and in. Johnson finds Ava Jorgensen. She's going to shoot the three. That one rolls in and out. Unfortunate break for Jorgensen, but Highland gets the ball back.
For Highland, after a game like this, there's not really many positives you can take from this. In this second half, compared to the first half, your offense has done significantly better. And that's something you can take away from this game. Just got to limit the turnovers, and you might be able to get something going.
Schwartz finds a cutting Johnson. Her shot is up, and it is good. So the Titans offense not slowing down right now, even with all their starters out, or nearly all their starters out. Tallulah Colton still playing.
And that's a good sign of depth that you have on this Titans team. If you're able to still score without your key players in, it's very important to have.
Jadid's going to put up the shot. That one is no good. Brown nearly comes down with the rebound, but it is tipped away. Now we'll see what the Titans do here, whether they let the shot clock run out or if they go for a shot. And Erickson is going to, Whitney. Coach Hunsaker is going to call a timeout to get Annie Erickson into the game and let Tallulah Colton rest. And it's Katina Oliveo coming in for Fetu Brown. Johnson passes it into Schwartz. There's about 11 to 12 second shot clock difference between shot clock and game clock right now. Kidiona nearly has the ball stealen away, but she passes it back out to Schwartz. Now it's Jorgensen who's going to shoot the three. That three is good, and the Titans now above 60 points. They're up 62 to 28.
Great sign by Olympus in not slowing down on the offense, even with all their starters out.
Deep three by Mitchell. That one is no good. They're going to have it called out of bounds, and all Olympus needs to do is inbounds the ball, and they will have won this game. What a fantastic get-right game for the Titans as they secure the victory, 62 to 28 over the still winless Highland Rams. What are your takeaways?
Well, going into this game, we didn't really know what Olympus was going to bring to the table after such a deflating loss against West last game. So it's a very good response for them. They were pretty good offensively and defensively, but looking into the offense, they did a great job at distributing the ball to all players on the court, and it wasn't just Joss Baker. For Highland, it's pretty difficult to find positives to take away from this. In the second half, your offense looked a little bit better compared to the first. It just seems like the turnovers remain a problem, and that's probably the biggest aspect of the game that they need to fix.
And so thank you all for watching another edition of Olympus Basketball on OlyTV. Highland will continue looking for their first win in nearly 11 months, their next challenge being on the road against the Brighton Bengals. The Titans, on the other hand, will start a 3-game road trip next week, starting at Brighton as well. Our next broadcast will be on Tuesday the 14th as the Olympus boys basketball team returns home and will play their first rivalry game of the year, of course, against Brighton. That'll do it for us tonight. For the entire production crew and Mr. Miller,
I'm Miles Pierce.
and I'm Lucas Pierce. Have a great rest of your week.